Call the meeting to order.
Belsley.
Here.
Blunier.
Here.
Hare.
Here.
Lehman.
Here.
Newman.
Here.
Parrott.
Here.
We have a quorum.
All right, join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have no public hearings tonight, but we do have a presentation tonight by Wolf Teaser and Company, our auditors and accountants.
Hello, everyone. I'm Heather Longfellow, and I have with me my audit manager, Virginia Love. And we had the opportunity to do the village audit this year and just wanted to do a little presentation, hit some of the high points of the financial position of the village of Morton tonight. See if we can get this to work. Oops, gonna turn on. We were saving the battery. Going. There we go. So you have an audit report in front of you. We're not going to go through it page by page. You're welcome. But I do encourage you to flip through it on your own time. You also have both of our business cards, and we also encourage you to call or email us with any questions that you have. So I just want to give you kind of a high level here. When you are going through the financials, you're going to see three types of funds. Governmental funds, listed there, proprietary funds, and fiduciary funds. So your police and fire pensions are fiduciary. Your proprietary funds are your water and sewer, run like a business where you charge people for the services, and your governmental funds are funded by various taxes. Your accounting method, just a reminder that your accounting method was switched last fiscal year, so for 4/30/16, and now again 4/30/17. So we're using a modified cash basis of accounting, which means that you're not going to see taxes receivable, prepaid insurance, deferred revenue, accounts payable, all of those items, except for there was a couple of examples where we wanted to show something specific, and so there's footnotes about that if it's in there. But generally, you're not going to see those in the governmental funds. You will still see them in your proprietary funds, your funds that are run like a business. Your audit opinion, the most important thing, that's what you really want to hear from me, and so that is on page 1 of the auditor's report, and it reads like this with a few more words in there. That in our opinion, the financial statements present fairly in all material respects the modified cash basis financial position of the village. So that is what we would call a clean audit opinion. That's what you want. All good. Just a reminder here, this is my little attorney's reminder, that the audit report is Wolf Tesser's. The financial statements are yours. We facilitate putting them together, bring you this nice bound packet at the end of the day, but the numbers are the village's, and it is your responsibility to have some at least nominal understanding of what's going on and ask questions of Julie and management along the way. One of the high points this year is that there's a surplus in the general fund. We were very excited about this year. That's good planning from prior boards. And so there's net income of $784,564 in the general fund. I do want to preface that, with there was $350,000 of unexpected sales tax received that is not expected for the 17-18 revenue stream. So keep that in mind. However, the surplus was over $350,000. So even taking that out, you would have seen that. So well done to the prior board and to you all as you go forward with planning and budgets. So there, remember I had a list of numerous funds there. One of them is the tourism fund. This fund is showing a deficit this year, a planned deficit because of purchasing 225 East Jefferson for $525,000. So the deficit there, the little bubble at the bottom, negative $259,677. And you will be able to find these in the reports. If you're looking through the reports again tomorrow and going, I can't find these numbers that she had on the screen, please give us a call or an email and we can show you where they are. The Business District Fund also running a planned deficit due to doing the beautiful Memorial Plaza. So a deficit position of $706,000. The IMRF and Social Security Fund, also a planned deficit here. There was accumulation in this fund. You guys made the decision to decrease the levy for the IMRF and Social Security Fund, increase the levy for the general fund during the last fiscal year, and so that ended up in a deficit on the P&L, but not a deficit in your equity or your cash position. Make sense? Okay. So that brings us to cash position. You might be thinking, okay, well, what is my cash position then? So these are your governmental funds: general, motor fuel, tourism, IMRF, Social Security, and Business District. The names are across the bottom there. So I know the numbers are a little small, but our screen is big. So I think you can see that your general fund increased, and it was over $5 million. Motor fuel decreased just a little, very, very similar for that big of a number. Tourism went down, which we just discussed, right? IMRF and Social Security went down, but again, still a solid cash position of $341,000, and Business District then is your lowest balance of $124,653. Just wanted to know, I always like to know any debt that an entity has. In this case, you have the debt and an offsetting receivable for the property at 180 Detroit Avenue, just down the road. So you're paying on that. The balance at 4/30/17 was $1,700,000, but you also have a matching receivable from the buyer of the property. So that just offsets. Ideally, right? Bank loan, the fire station construction loan was $139,616 at April 30th. Exciting news that was paid off in June, so that balance is now $0. Yay. All right, moving on to your proprietary funds. So that's your gas, wastewater, and stormwater funds. This is the operating income in those funds. Again, the fund names are at the bottom. You can see an increase from year to year, 16 to 17, in the gas fund in operating income. And this is before depreciation is considered in, because I know depreciation is a little bit of that vague, meaningless number to most folks. So I just disregarded that with the analysis. Wastewater fund net income a little bit lower this year, and stormwater fund, the operating income almost identical. And I thought you might want to look at cash balances. So they, of course, move the same way, which is the beauty of reporting on the modified cash basis of accounting, is we don't have a lot of weird fluctuations in receivables and payables that are confusing. Well, I guess in this case you could show those, but anyway, they move the same way, which is nice. So your gas fund is increasing cash, and the wastewater fund is decreasing cash, and the stormwater fund almost identical, just like the P&L was showing.
Just to clarify, that's the water fund, which includes wastewater and water treatment and water distribution, correct?
Yes. Thanks.
Yep. Yep.
Okay. Couple tidbits on pension, which you can look at on your own, but pages 12 and 13 of the financial statements give information about the police and fire pension, and also footnote 9. So when you're looking for those, 12 and 13 and footnote 9. IMRF footnote 8 comes from the Illinois Municipal Retirement Fund. Worth noting is that your IMRF funding ratio is at 87%, which is quite good for governments in this area. We've seen some that are much lower than that, so that's very good. And the village pays your IMRF contributions in full every month. So what they're asking you to pay is what you're paying. And then we just want to note, because there's been some confusion in this, you may hear it somewhere else or at another meeting or with another organization. So there's 2 Governmental Accounting Standards Board statements. That's what GASB stands for, Governmental Accounting Standards Board. One is 50. That's the one we have in your financial statements. That's the one that is proper to put in your financial statements for modified cash basis of accounting. The other one is GASB 68. They do report slightly different actuarial calculations because one is using modified cash basis of accounting, one is using accrual. So if somewhere along the line you hear someone say GASB 68, you're supposed to be using GASB 68, just trigger that in your mind. I think that lady from Wolf Tesser said something about that. Give us a call if we need to clarify. So the footnote you have in your statements is 50, which is the proper one for the way that you're reporting. Recommendations really are just recommendations that we had last year as well, but you did a couple of the things that we had recommended last year, so maybe we can just tack on another 1 or 2 of these things for this year. We recommend establishing a threshold for your fixed asset capitalization, meaning like pick a number where you're going to say all equipment over 1 year of useful life and $6,000 we're going to depreciate. Right now we're kind of just using the what makes sense method. So, but having a little more guidance would help the accounting department and the auditors know what we're seeing there. The other is a fund balance policy, which is just a policy for how you set up layers of money that you may want to restrict, you may want to commit or assign. So there's another governmental accounting standard, 54, right? That gives those guidelines. And frankly, I was reading through it today. This could be a matter of us giving you the wording from GASB 54, you all seeing whether or not you agree with that structure, and just passing that ordinance. It would be very easy to enact. So encourage you to talk a little bit about that. So to wrap up, I just wanted to say a huge thank you to Julie. We harass her all the time, and Craig and all the accounting staff. Thank you to Virginia and my staff as well, who do a lot of work to put this together. I always say this is our unique book, a masterpiece for every client that we get to hand out at the end of it. So we appreciate your business, and just thank you for hiring us and letting us do your audit. Are there any questions?
Any questions? I will let you know, she called me this week, and she does drill a mayor pretty good. But thank you.
Thank you. Okay.
But I think in that audit, we realized that the previous board did balance the books and had $784,000 left. The year before, we were $359,000 in the hole, so they've worked it out. So now as we can move forward, maybe we can be more on the surplus side, or at least balanced. And I do want to tell you, Julie and Craig has worked very hard this week. If I didn't talk to them, I've seen them every day, and we got the numbers. They really worked hard, so appreciate that. Public comments, anybody in the public? Consent agenda tonight is approval of the minutes. The regular meeting, October 2nd, 2017. The closed session, October 2nd, 2017. The closed session, September 26th, 2017. And approval of the bills. Is there any item that would like to be removed by the consent agenda by a trustee? If not,
So moved.
Second.
any questions? Call the roll.
Hare. Yes.
Lehman,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Belsley,
Yes.
Blunier.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Thank you. And as I was mentioning, Craig and Julie helped with numbers as we're going to be moving ahead here and talking with the chief of police on this addition. I looked at the projected budget for this fiscal year, and originally it was going to be around 914. So I've asked Craig and Julie to get the numbers current. So with 5 months gone, the current numbers are, and Craig did his street department numbers and came in about 475,000 below budget. And Julie has mentioned that our revenues are higher and our costs are lower for these 5 months. So our deficit right now is only 150,000 with 5 months. So we have 7 months to make that up. So I just wanted everybody to kind of know where that budget is as we go in and talk about these other items. So saying that, village clerk,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
village administrator,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
chief of police.
I have 3 items tonight, Your Honor. The first one is not on the agenda, just an announcement that on Saturday, October 28th, we will be participating again with the DEA on the drug take-back. It'll be between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. at our facility. We do not take injectionables, and we do take liquids, but they must be in their original package. It allows everybody to old medications to drop those off. Again, that's at our lobby in our police station between 10 a.m. and 2 p.m. on Saturday, October 28th. It is on our Facebook page and it is on the village website.
Thank you. How many times a year do you do that usually?
2 times a year they do it. This is the 13th event. Typically they do it sometime in late April, and then either in September, October have been the other times that they've done it.
I've just had citizens ask, so I thought, okay.
The next thing I have on tonight is the expenses for this year's Pumpkin Festival. It's in your packet. It's up this year. One thing beginning in 2013, if you look some of the figures, but one of the things that I started doing in 2013 is in addition to the actual pay, wages, I also have added the compensatory time, which is done as the village administrator and I have both had discussion that this has actual cost to the village, so I wanted you to see the full amount that entails. So this year it was $10,474.15 that we paid out in either auxiliary pay or overtime for the dispatchers and the officers.
That's about 3,000 higher than the year before. Is there any particular reason? Or?
Just staffing that we had that we needed to fill. Some of the auxiliary are down as far as what their level of participation is right now with the manpower, and some of them gone. And if they're not able to fill it, then we've got to fill it with our officers. It could have been even higher. We utilized 9 auxiliary members from Bartonville's police department to assist us with our parade day. We utilized 4 of them last year. In the past, we've used explorers from East Peoria, auxiliary from Washington, or part-timers from Washington. So we try to work together with that to reciprocate. The following week, we sent 6 auxiliary over to assist Bartonville with their homecoming parade. So we try to work together, and that saves us some cost there.
Thank you.
The final thing that I have on the agenda tonight is,
How about if let's see if we can pass this to get approved?
it's just for information
Just
for you.
information. Okay.
Yeah.
I have a question,
And-
quick question about that.
Yes,
How
sir.
many police and auxiliary do you have in operation during the parade at any given time?
There are, during the parade day, just over 50.
Okay.
That covers all the intersections that we have, and then the officers that we actually have on patrol as well.
Okay. I was just curious. Thanks.
The third item in your packet is a Resolution 317, a resolution authorizing agreement with Keach Architectural Design. This is part of the continued consolidation that we've been doing the last few meetings. We've been talking about this for quite some time. A few months ago, I gave you what was the final report from the consultant, which was hired by the Emergency Telephone Systems Board to work on the consolidation with the recommendation. All 6 bodies have approved those intergovernmental agreements that we did at the special meeting. That was from the final report done by Richard Tucker that worked on the addition to Morton, our facility. At the original time, we were looking at somewhere over $800,000 for that. Craig and I met with Jeff Keach this morning, going over the contract, and we're looking at $695,000 for that. There are a few other costs, if you see in the email that was given to you, listing that. One of those additional costs will be utilizing Richard Tucker as a consultant and part of this, and Richard Consultant is the one that did the final report, and he's a advisor for that, his group, and he was hired by the ETSB, so he's quite familiar with this project and what's going on. So both Craig and I would recommend this resolution and using Keach Architectural Designs for this, and I would look for a motion to approve that.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yeah, I was gonna ask, you already gave that figure, but that's one of the questions I had. So the fee for Keach Architectural is based on the $695,000 amount?
$695,000.
Is that right? Okay, I didn't,
There may be some additional costs that come away unexpected, but that's where it's at.
and the duration of this, again, we received this fairly recent, so thumbing through this, though, it's roughly covering an 18-month period, so we're looking at? Yeah.
Again, the end date, the final date, which we're mandated by the state right now, is to have the consolidation completed by July 1 of 2019. And Jeff anticipates before that it being completed.
And this is really, I mean, the focus here for these services is just on the building, whereas another component to this is the communications center itself that is not a part of this agreement, right? But obviously that decision is out of our hands, or...
Right, and a lot of the components with the radio equipment is going to fall under this new entity, the TC3. Obviously, we have a portion of that is going to be responsibility of the village, as well as several other communities. There are 24 fire districts and 19 police agencies involved in this, and they'll all share a portion of the cost of that. But anything that deals with the 911 services of that comes under the responsibility of the ETSB. And they have already, and it was listed in the report, and it's not an exact figure, what was just over $265,000 on part of this cost that the ETSB is already committed to.
Chief, once for those who weren't watching last meeting, maybe could you help walk through a little bit of how we're going to receive money, how we're going to help pay for this facility from these other towns and such,
From the
how
other
that's
towns?
done?
Yeah, it would be part of a budget. It is based on a formula on the calls that are handled by the dispatch services, and so there's a percentage on who pays the most, and it is based on those calls that they have, and that's how it'll be broke down. They will have to contribute into that. We will receive monies through a rent, which is, we're looking right now, and this is according to the final report by the consultant, we're looking at like $29,000 a month, or I mean $29,000 a year is what would be. It'd be nice to get $29,000 a month, but $29,000 a year for that is the average cost. So.
I believe it's a 15-year agreement, isn't it?
I believe that is accurate, but it can be renewed after that.
Right. So any other questions? If not, call the roll.
Lehman,
Yes.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Belsley,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Hare.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Corporation Counsel,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Director of Fire and Emergency Services,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
and Director of Public Works.
One item tonight, Your Honor. In front of you, I have item A. Unfortunately, I made a mistake on this. I asked Julie to cover for me last week, and I gave her incorrect information, so I apologize for that. But in front of you, I'd like to ask for acceptance of bid for a 2018 Dodge Ram 4500 cab and chassis, two-wheel drive truck for the gas department in the amount of $24,388. This includes trade and award of contract for same to Sam Lehman Chrysler Dodge Jeep Fiat of Morton.
Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Second. Any questions?
I just want to be able to say, because of my affiliation with the group, I will be opting out of this next vote.
And this would be our first Dodge. Call the roll.
Newman,
Yes.
Parrot,
Yes.
Belsley,
Yes.
Blunier,
Yes.
Hare,
Yes.
and Lehman abstains. Motion passes.
Planning and Zoning Officer,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Village Trustees, Trustee Belsley,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Blunier,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Lehman,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Hare,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Newman,
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
Trustee Parrott.
Nothing tonight, Your Honor.
There is no closed sessions or that, so I would ask for a motion for adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
Call the roll. All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.